Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Karen Mikowski, aka Butterfly Karen. Welcome. So welcome to my first independent consumer assessment video. It's ICA01. Okay, so like my little other videos, I just like to give a, well, if you watch the introduction to video to this playlist, it pretty much explains what these are all about. But it's me independently assessing as a consumer all businesses, even right down to hospitals and things like this and clinics, and I don't care. So this is what I do. This is who I am. It's just one area again of who I am as a contractor. So, and this is where I want to just be fair and balanced. Now, today I'm going to be discussing Tombstone Grand Hotel. So I'm starting sort of the series with the hotels and sort of resorts first, and then I'll sort of switch to different. I mean, you can sort of watch what comes out, because the series will just be like stores and all kinds of stuff. But this is the Grand Hotel in the Tombstone Grand Hotel in Tombstone, Arizona, here in the United States. Now, I checked into this hotel on October the 27th, 2023, and checked out on the 28th, 2023. And I do have the address. It's 580 West Randolph Way, Arizona, 85638. I can put all that information and plus the link of the hotel too, just in case it's somewhere that you want to stay. Yeah, just looking at the report. So, I do conduct independent consumer assessments during all my travels. The types of businesses I conduct assessments on are from everything from shopping malls, stores, brands, independent, hotels, motels, resorts, airlines, rail travel, casinos, business franchises, fuel stations, healthcare, hospitals, and so on. Now, I just wanted to put that out there. So you've got an idea. But again, when you watch the other video, I am a female solo traveler, so I'm very security focused, safety and everything. So that is one of my main focuses about my sort of reviews. I'm looking for that. Now, if I've stayed at somewhere or I've been somewhere where I felt really unsafe, I'm going to discuss it, because it's just something. I'm not saying it's bad or it's the company's fault or the business. It's just something to be aware of if you do visit these places. It could happen to you. It could just it may not. But so the reason for most of my visits is business. Now, unfortunately for me, this check-in wasn't very friendly. Look, first impressions are everything to me. And I'm a very happy person, so I'm in the people business, and a smile goes a long way. When you're sort of checking in, I will not be mentioning the lady's name because I won't do that publicly, but when you're sort of checking into somebody, you don't want to make me feel like you're a burden and you're the consumer. So I don't know what sort of morning this lady had or what sort of day she was having, but that's irrelevant. You keep that, separate. Every sort of guest should be treated with the level of respect your standards require. So for me, it was unfortunate, because that's my first impression of this hotel was like, okay, rude. And it was a very, like, I remember just asking for basic things like, is there just basic questions? And it felt like that. You don't want to have the attitude with a real Karen. I'm not your entitled Karen. I'm your silent customer Karen. But you do not want to be giving me that attitude. First of all, I've already read your energy. Now I've read your body language, and that's before anything is coming out your mouth. So it's first impressions are everything. And again, I'm very forgiving, so I can accept you maybe having a bad day. That's not acceptable. So I was very aware, because I was on business. I knew there was a lot of amenities at this place, which is really nice. I will state that. There's a lot you could do, but because I was traveling on business, I didn't really have time to sort of have access to the amenities or enjoy them. But they pretty much offered everything that you could require from that hotel in that area. Absolutely. I do believe also, because I do have I do stay at my little obviously the company is going to get a copy of this report, but I do have my own sort of like scoring scale. So 1 to 10, 1 is bad and 10 is exceptional. So, and it's quite sad really, because pets are allowed, so it's pet friendly and free parking. I'm always looking for free parking, right? Absolutely, because I travel a lot and I use my car, my little office on wheels. So I don't want to be paying parking when I'm staying at somewhere and I'm already spending money at a place. I don't, that's going to knock the score down for me. But pet friendly for other people, absolutely, of course, because like I love animals. I used to be a fairy baby mama, so you know, my sort of scoring, my little sad, I've got like a sad face, that face, or a happy face, right? So I do have that sort of scoring system too. I scored this hotel 7. That could have been well into the 9s or even the 10 had it not been for that first experience, that checking in experience, and that was a sad face, unfortunately. Overall facilities, happy. Facilities were clean, absolutely. The location was good. Value for money. What they charged, I believe it was I paid $122 for that night. I didn't feel like it was, for what I got and for the service, no. I didn't think it was worth that, but that's okay. That's just me. Other people may think differently. So for me, I didn't feel like I was getting the value for money. I don't even believe there was a breakfast included. And I do a lot, I book a lot of my stuff with booking.com. So I'm sort of, you know, raising up to get my free breakfast and perks and things like that. Because I do travel a lot. So I obviously want perks. And again, I book these hotels through booking.com. And I, up to now, touch wood, I mean, I don't really have a bad experience with booking.com, but that doesn't mean the hotels are not going to give me crap, you know? So that was unfortunate. So I didn't feel like I didn't think it was worth the money. Overall security was good. That was very important to me. Like I say, pets allowed, free parking. So there was no situation report to add to this at all. I don't know. I just felt like, was there anything else that I didn't? Yeah, the hotel was clean and secure. That was. I mean, in Tombstone too, it's like, it's not right in the town. It's just sort of on the road on the way in. So it's perfectly situated, especially if you're just sort of passing through or driving through. It's you know, if you don't care about like being treated with basic respect, it's probably a nice place to stay. It really is. The place was nice. The hotel was nice. It really was. But again, for me personally, not speaking for anybody else, my sort of review on it was like, really, that kind of sucked. And I was gonna stay for the 2 night. Well, no, I wasn't, because my plans sort of changed anyway. But when I changed my plans the next day, I thought, well, should I go back to that hotel? Because all of the other hotels in Tombstone itself were all fully booked. I'm like, I really don't want to go back there. So I was like, okay, I really need to find somewhere close by. Thankfully, I did find a hotel literally like just less than a minute's walk, put it that way, and I had a better experience with a better rate too, but I'll discuss that in the next sort of reports. It was, so again, I'm quite spontaneous when I'm traveling, so I may sort of extend my stay, but if I have to do a sort of bad service like that, I'll find another hotel. I won't stay there again. And if I have to drive further out because there's nothing close by available, I'll drive further out. I don't want to spend good money, right, on places where you're looking down at me. There's no reason to be looking down at anybody, right? Or just, you don't even want to be there, that attitude. It's like, it's not a good representation for the company or the business you're working for. So again, like I say, you don't really know what sort of day that person's been having, but that's not the point. You don't pay to deal with somebody else's personal problems. And I know what it's like working in the business as well. When I went to work, I went with a fully professional head on my shoulders, whether I was having a bad day or not. And each customer was treated the same from the moment they walked in, regardless of who they are. Nothing zero bias or just anything like that. It was simply, good evening, how are you? Are you checking in? And my jolliness. It goes a long way. It makes a huge difference. So really, it's kind of sad because, like I said, had it not for being that, the value for money and the checking in interaction, that would have been a 10 out of 10. And when you're traveling on business too, like as a leisure traveler, traveling for leisure, and business is a little bit different. So you still expect the same as a consumer. You still want what you pay for, but just remember, when people are traveling on business and they're staying at your hotels, you better make sure they're getting what they pay for, because they're constantly traveling, which means they may have to come back a lot. And you want that repetitive consumer. You want that repetitive business. You want them to love your hotel enough to go, oh, now when I'm back in that area, I'm staying right there. I'm like that. Oh, I love that place so much. That's on my absolutely to stay again. I don't have any loyalty at all to any company, but if I get a great service, I will go back. So that's about as loyal as I'm going to get, where you will get my business again. But then it's just sometimes it's like, that really sucks because I'm not going back there. So yeah. Like I say, I didn't really, there's not really much sort of majorly report on that one, but I think the point I'm trying to make is, and keep just to sort of end this little independent consumer assessment review, is just like, first impressions are everything. That is literally the start of the first interaction you have with your customers or your clients or the consumers. If it starts off negative, it's going to end probably quite negative, because that is the energy you're giving out to people. And that's what they're picking up on and receiving. So you're not going to get there's no real common courtesy there either. So you can't be expecting respect when you're not even literally giving out the basic standard of what's expected. So, and that unfortunately can, it hurts the business. It's like, because if that's a habit too, like, let's say for example, you've got a sort of certain types of staff that are like that all the time, that's the fastest way to just bring your business down. Because if they can't even meet your standards of what's required or follow your policies and procedures, what are you offering? What is the point? That's damage. Those people can damage your business. So yeah, I think you're going to be very careful about who you're employing. So because, well, I really don't need to go into details of that, but it's not really rocket science, is it? It's pretty self-explanatory. It's again, first impressions are everything. Now, had I got great service, and it wasn't just the lady, it wasn't just the check-in there, because I remember just asking other staff questions, and it was like, it was just quite rude. Like, so it wasn't just like one person. Do you know what it felt like? It's like every time I just asked a simple, like, oh, can you tell me where the blah, blah, blah? It was like, I don't know what it was. It was weird. It was just, I don't know if there's something in the water or they just walk on the wrong side of the bed, but it was like such a chore to answer basic, simple questions. Or maybe some people just don't like my energy because I'm jolly and happy. That might trigger people, but that's not my problem. And if that's what people are really sort of connecting to, and that's how that's basically their first preconceived judgment of me, that does not say much about staff or your business at that point. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I took from that, unfortunately. But again, had the service been different, the customer service being different, then I would have thought, okay, yeah, that's worth paying $122 for. But I didn't feel like I got, no. So I didn't even get a breakfast either. But the next place I did. Stick around and hop back in at some point and see what I'm going to be discussing next.